Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome, I'm Stefania. Today's video is gonna be a flip through of my reading journal. I will show you the yearly pages that I've created for 2023. I've stated in my plan with me video that I would have done this video because, to be honest, the plan with me was extremely long and I thought it could be interesting to do a little flip through, and in this way I will be able to explain while going through the pages how I'm gonna use them. I thought it was a good idea and I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. Let's start from the notebook. This is gonna be my reading journal for this year. I don't know if I'll be able to fit the whole here into only one or if I'll need a second one. We'll see it. Anyway, I am obsessed with this one and I absolutely love it. If you want to know more about this notebook, I have an unboxing video, so be sure to check it out. Well, I opened this one up, but I also show more things about it, some more details. I think we can start with the video now. The first page is the cover page with the little pocket. As you can see, inside the pocket I've added my color code. Which for me was important to have because I've used some colors throughout the yearly pages that I will keep for the wall here, but I don't want to mess them up throughout the year. I've decided to use a lot of them are from this set of brush pen. It's a skin one and I absolutely love them. I love this brand so much, I just love their brush pen. And some of them are quite hard to remember. I mean, they look a lot like each other, honestly, and to avoid to mistake them throughout the year, I've decided to create a color code. I've said this in the plan with me video, but in case you've missed it and you haven't watched it or anything else, for this year I've decided to go with a scrapbooking theme, and the stickers are made by me. The first page that I've created was my bookshelf, and I've decided to use it to track my readings. As you can see, I have 9 colors, and this is because I also wanted to track the half stars, if it makes sense. I didn't want to track only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stars, but also, for example, 3.5, because I felt the need of doing it. Last year I haven't done this and it was quite of a missing thing for me. This is the thing that you haven't seen me doing in the plan with me, and that was choosing the colors and deciding to put them here. Here I will basically keep track of the books that I've read throughout the year. I will color the book according to the number of stars that I gave to the book, and I will also write the title of the book. I should have enough space because in 2022 I've read 78 books. This year my goal is 60 books. Last year was completely out of control for me, and for sure it's something that was unpredictable for me. But I think that for me, 5 books, let's put 6 books a month, it's already a good number and it's something that I can do, so I thought that 60 was a good one. I decided to use some stickers for the cactus. I had them around the house. They're clear stickers, so they're perfect for this. And the window was nice to do it, I would say. I saw a lot of photos on Instagram and Pinterest, and I took inspiration from them for this window. And that's it. The next part is my book log. Basically, I've created a touch door. I will write the number of the book starting from the first book of the year is gonna be number 1 and so goes on, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I will write the title and author, when I started the book, when I finished it, how many stars I gave it, and if it was an ebook or a physical book. I decided to leave an empty space between 1 and 2 and so goes on, so between the numbers, and that's because I feel that first of all, because by doing it thanks to the Dutch door, I have space for more than 70 books, and since my goal is 60, I think I should be able to have enough space for every single book I'm gonna read. And most of all, I decided to do this because last year I had this spread, and I've noticed that I didn't have enough space for the title and the author, and basically half of the time I was just writing the title and then there wasn't more space for the author. So I've decided that this year I'm gonna write the title here and underneath it the author. The next spread is a reading tracker. I kind of created the same one like last year, but I've changed a few things. First of all, I've decided to put the numbers on both of the pages, because last year I realized that having them only on one side was a problem for the other side. I was always doing some mistakes here and there, so I've decided to do that. And then I just moved my color code on the left instead of the right, and instead of having only 4 colors this year I decided to use 6. How does this one work? It's really simple. Every single day in which I'm gonna read, I'm just gonna color that day according to the number of pages that I've read that day. My goal for this year is to have this one without empty spaces. Last year I read for almost the whole year. I haven't read all in 2 days of February, and that kind of pissed me off because now it's all full of colors except for 2 days in February. And this year I've decided to try to read for 365 days. At the bottom I have how many days I've read in a month and how many pages I've read in a month. I think that it's important to explain this, that my goal of reading every single day is the same one I had last year, which is keeping the good habit that worked for 2022 of always reading a little bit every single day. Even if you only have 5 minutes, it's better to read for 5 minutes than not opening a book. A few pages is better to nothing, and this is something that I want to keep doing this year. The next spread is books of 2023. It looks empty, but that's because here I will add the covers of the books that I read throughout the year. I have space for more than 60 books. I don't remember again how many books I can fit into it, but again it's more than 70, so 70 is already 10 books more than my goal, so I think I have enough room. I hope to. I don't know how I will add more if I don't have enough space. And under the cover of the book I will put how many stars I gave to the book. That's how it's gonna work. I would say that a lot of the spreads that you're gonna see throughout this flip through are empty, and they're gonna be 100 times better throughout the year. Then I have my pick one. If you've been following me since last year, I know that I hate to call this page my favorite books because technically it's picking up a favorite book of the month and put it here. But again, it might happen that in a month, for example, I have 2 or 3 books that get 5 stars, and I'll pick only one because I have space for one. But then maybe the next month I will have books that aren't bad, but the one with more stars is gonna be a 4 stars, and automatically the 2 that have been left out in the previous month actually, well, they would win against the one that I picked for the next month. I know it makes no sense, but I didn't want to call these favorite books. At first I thought favorite book of the month, but at the same time, again, if in a month I have 2 books and I love them both so much that they get 5 stars, then I have to pick only one, but at the same time it would be wrong toward the other book. But the point was, okay, between all the books that you read in a month, pick one, that's it. And then I will make them battle one against each other to find the winner between these 12 books. However, again, this one probably won't be my favorite book of the year, or better, maybe this one could be my favorite book of the year, but for example the others, it doesn't mean that these are my top 12 books of the year, to make it short. Here I will just have the cover of the book, then I have the stars. These are stickers that I've created, so it's definitely easier than drawing them because I hate drawing stars. I don't know if it's just me, but I hate it so much. and this definitely is gonna make everything faster. Then I have my favorite books spread, and this is where I put all my 5 stars. I think I have enough space because basically what I've done is looking at 2022 and how many 5 stars I had throughout the year, and I should be able to fit here enough books. However, I might be right, I might be wrong, who knows, because maybe this year I'm gonna be so lucky and I'll read a lot of 5 stars. I hope so, but in case I'll run out of space, I'll have to come out with something, but I'll worry about that in another moment and not right now. The reason why I wanted to have this spread after this one was to look at them at the end of the year. I am pretty curious to see how many of these books didn't made it in here. It was interesting, and so here I will just have the covers of the books because since I'm gonna put all the books I gave 5 stars, there's no point in adding the stars underneath for anything else. Then I have my monthly reads. I don't know if this spread is useful or not, or pointless or whatever, but basically at the end of 2022 I felt like I was missing something like this, so a page where I had all the books that I read divided in the months in which I've read them. So this year I've decided to do this spread. Basically I have the months here, and I have space underneath them to write the title of the books that I've read in the month. I have space for 8 or 9 books, and it should be more than enough. And then I have my series tracker. My series tracker will work in this way. It's kind of like the one that I had last year, but instead of writing the title and next to it drawing some circles, I've decided to do it in this way. I will write here the name of the series, and then underneath I have enough space for 10 books. Basically, I will draw a circle for each single book of the series, and every time I read a book, I will color the circle. Here's the thing, since I only start series that are finished, well, there's an exception because last year I've read Akotar and I thought it was done, instead I found out it wasn't. So that's the only series that I'm bringing back from previously years. All the other series that I've started were series that I could already finish, and I finished them last year. So for the moment I created space for 4 series, but as you can see I have a lot of space to add more. I haven't written anything in here yet because I still have to look at series that I want to start this year. I will put here any type of series, so even duology or trilogy, not only series with a lot of books. As I was saying, I have space for 10 books, so here I can fit 10 circles. But I also have an empty line underneath it between the 2 series, so in case of need I can add even more circles there, but I don't think I'm gonna read a series with more than 10 books. I don't think it at all. Then we're moving to the second part of the yearly setup. I haven't said this at the beginning, but basically I divided the yearly pages in 3. You can see here there is the first part, then there is the second, and then the third. Basically, the first part is all about trackers. The second one is for challenges, and the third one is for stats. So now we're starting the challenges part, I would say. The first page is my bingo. Last year I've done this page and it was so important because I've used also to write some goals in the middle, and since I saw it as a game more than a goals page, it worked amazingly. This here I didn't know how to fill in all the square because last year actually I've created less than 25. So I've decided to put things such as 5 books, 10 books, 30, 50, and this is going to be probably the last one that I will color, which is 60 books, and that's my goal. Then I have a classic and a book with a number in the title, a book published in 2023, 50 books, a book with more than 300 pages, 60 books, a book by an Italian author. This is so important for me because I found out that I never read anything by Italian authors, and I should. A book which was then brought to the screen, whether it was a movie or a TV show, and a book with less than 250 pages. Then I have my Goodreads challenge. I have space for 60 books because that's my goal, but I left this page here empty, this part of the page, so that in case I will reach 60 and go over it, I will be able to have more squares here. I've decided to call it a Goodreads challenge, but actually I could have called Storygraph challenge. This year for sure I'm more active on Storygraph compared to Goodreads. I just love that one more. I'm sorry, my opinion. What I'm gonna do is this: each single square is a book. I will color each single square according to the month in which I've read the book. I've decided to use this page in this way this year, and so I need 12 colors, which are here. Actually, it's a page that probably could be pointless because I know that my goal is 60, so when I would have reached 60 in my backlog page, I could have been done with it, but I really like having this one here as well, so that's why I created it again. Then I have my rainbow challenge. I saw this one on YouTube, I don't remember by who, so it's not something I came out with, but I was like, oh, this is so cool. Basically, it's reading a book with a cover that is a color of the rainbow. So I'll have to read a book with a red cover, orange cover, yellow, and so goes on. But since using only 7 colors wouldn't have looked so good in the page, like I would have something like these, and I didn't like it. I've decided to add 2 more colors, which are black and white. This one, even if it's gray, I would say, it's my white one. I will fill in this page by adding the cover inside. My next page is Un anno in rosa, which is a challenge that I'm gonna follow on Instagram. It's an Italian one, and basically each single month you have to read a different book according to the prompt of the month. So for example, January is gonna be fake relationship, then there's second chance, then there is sport romance, friends to lover, I mean things like that. I will simply add here, and I think I haven't said this before, but all the pencil things that you see will be erased when I'll attach the cover. So they're just here to tell me where to put it, but they will not stay there. And basically I will just have the cover here. I really love this page. This is the only challenge that I'm gonna follow as it is. Let me try to explain it. There are other challenges that I like and I want to join, but that I will change a little bit, which is in this one it's like a month a book. There are others that are the same, but I've decided that instead of doing it that way, I have the wall here, and it doesn't matter if I read the book that was suggested to be read in January, in November. The important for me is to finish it. I've decided to do that because I wanted to keep on track with this one, and I didn't want to pressure myself with too many challenges. At the same time, however, I was in love with more than one, and so I told myself, okay, you know what, follow one as it is, the other you have the wall here to do it. Also, a thing I haven't said is that in my bingo, a book can be used only for one thing. So for example, if I'm gonna read a whole series, and that series is, for example, a fantasy one, I will not be able to use one of the book of the series to color the fantasy option. I've done the same last year. This makes everything a little bit harder in this page. Of course, this doesn't count for the number of books, because when I reach 5 books, it's gonna be 5 books and that's it. But for the others, for example, if I read a classic with a blue cover, or I'll use it for the classic, or I'll use it for the book with the blue cover. Basically, this is to make this a little bit harder. But other than that, every single book that I read can work for more than a challenge, and so this is what's gonna for sure help me finishing the challenges. I will follow it strictly, I would say. Then I have the alphabet challenge, call it however you want, and to do these pages I've printed out some stickers. However, what I haven't considered is that they would have been this big. I thought they would have been a little bit smaller. I don't know why I didn't pay attention to that when I done them. I should have done them a little bit smaller, but I haven't. So here's the thing. I found out that each single letter is 4 little squares, so I can divide each single letter in 2, and I can use this spread to keep track of both books and authors, because I saw people doing this in 2 ways, or using it with the name of the books or the name of the author. I've decided that I'm gonna do both, but this was a last minute choice, I would say, because before I was only thinking of using the title of the book. However, between all the challenges, I'm pretty sure that this is the one that I will not finish for sure. And this is the last page for the challenges that I have, and basically it's a little pocket that I created because when I started setting up my reading journal, I thought, okay, I want to join this challenge and this and that, but then I was like, what if during the year I want to try something more, or what if I think that it's enough and then I'll find out instead I want more. So I've decided to create a little pocket and call it challenges because inside them I can feel how many challenges I want to. I didn't want to leave empty space, like empty pages, just in case I'll use them for hypothetical challenges. I didn't like the idea. So instead of leaving empty pages and then maybe not having enough space, or not using them and still having empty pages, which they bother me like crazy, I've decided to create a pocket, kind of like at the time in which I've done the cover page. And I've already had 2 different challenges, which I want to give it a try. This one is the perfect example of what I was saying before. These are 12 prompts that you should follow according to the month, so January, February, March, April, and so goes on. However, I've decided that I will follow this in read the 12 books that have this in the 12 months. It doesn't matter, I can read more than one in a month, or I can read the one that should be done in January at the end of the year. It doesn't matter, just do it. Here I have space. Basically I wrote in black the different prompts, and I think I'll use brown because I did it last year and I fell in love with that color. I don't know, it's my to go, just like this color that I've used for the wall setup. I love it. I will write the title of the book. However, since this it's a short list, so it's only 12, I've decided that I would have space in the back to actually have the different covers of the books that I've used, and it's perfect because I can fit all the 12 books here. So this is one of the additional challenges, I would say. Then there is this other one. This one comes from YouTube. I don't have here the name of the channel, but just search for buzzword and you get it. It's on YouTube. It's also published on Instagram, so you can find it everywhere. Another challenge that I'm following on Storygraph, which I haven't reported anywhere, it's basically read each single day in January, and it's quite easy. Basically every single day you have to update the page in which you are in the book that you're currently reading, and automatically the app will be, oh okay, you've read today, so it's good, and that's it. The goal is to read for 31 days in January, and this is one. The other one I found always on Storygraph, in this case I don't know where it came from, I didn't put myself too much, was this one, which is a Disney one. I left this part empty and I'll explain it in a little bit. Here we're talking about 40 books. I think that probably I will not be able to complete this one. In this case I have the prompt in black with the name of the Disney movie, The Lion King, Read a Friends to Lover, or Sleeping Beauty, a book with a rose on the cover or in the title. I will write underneath in brown the title of the book, kind of like I will do here, but here I will do next to it because there's a lot of space, while here underneath it. The goal is to complete as many prompts as I can. It's not easy, honestly. I didn't do anything in this part of the page because I don't think I will finish this challenge, and I thought it could be interesting to write here how many things I've checked and how many I haven't, and most of all something like, I don't know, drawing a line with okay, you should have arrived here but you're only arrived here. I don't know, I still have to think about it. There is another one, but I still haven't created anything, which should be something like friend. This one, it's available on Instagram, but someone created it also on Storygraph. I don't know if it's the same person, so the creator or not. I haven't checked, I'm gonna be honest. And basically it's a challenge based on Friends. Instead of having movies from Disney, it's based on the TV show Friends. And that's it, but I still have to create it, and that one should have 50. The good part is that a book that I can use here can be used also in other challenges, so maybe I will be surprised by what's gonna come out from all of this. And we are at the last part of the notebook, which are the reading stats. I have my genres here. Basically I keep track of genres, and that's it. This one could have fit perfectly in the first section of the notebook with the different trackers, but I didn't have enough space to put something like this in the middle of my stats, and I wanted to have it there as well. If you look at this page, you'll see that basically it's the same structure as the series tracker, but instead of having the name of the series, there is, for example, fantasy, non-fiction, classics, and so goes on. And underneath I have enough space for several books. I don't think, for example, that in non-fiction I read more than 10 books, because last year I read 0. And a goal for this year is to read at least one. At least one. I have more space for fantasies and romances, but in this case I could use also this space for other genres if it's gonna come in my mind, but I don't think. And then at the bottom I wanted to keep track of how many young adult and adult I was reading, and so I've decided to create this as well. This is a page that I don't know if I will be able to keep it up with, because this is a pain for me. I want it, but I suck at keeping up track with this. And then there is the last page of the setup, which is my reading stats. I've decided to change it from last year because I didn't like the one that I had last year. By the end of the year I realized I didn't like it, and that's it. So I have all the months here and the space for the total. Every single month I write how many books I read, how many of these books were ebooks or physical books, how many pages I've read that month, how many days I've read during the month. So the goal here is to have the exact number of days that there are in the month, so 31, 28, 31, 30, 31, and so goes on. How many books I've read in English and how many in Italian, and then there is the space for how many stars I gave, so how many books got 1 star or how many got 3 stars, and so goes on. And at the end I can then have the full stat for the wall here. So yes, this is basically what I came out with for this here. I really like how it turned out. It's not too complicated. It's an easy style. You don't need to be amazing to draw anything at all. I loved this absolutely much. The part that took me the longest was honestly creating the stickers, because I drew them on paper, then I colored them throughout the phone, so the digital version, which was honestly better than the printed one. I don't know why my printer doesn't like the colors. And that was the hardest part, the one that took me the most. But other than that, it's very simple. However, for me, this was a long video to create the plan with me, because as you can see, it's not only a spread or two, there are more than 10 spreads. That's why the videos are this long. So I hope I could give you some ideas about what to do with your reading journal. If yes, let me know what you're gonna take from this setup that you might decide to put in your own reading journal. Also, let me know if you have a reading journal, if you create it from zero like I do, or if you buy the ones that are already made. I just don't like that because they never fit with what I want. They're not good for me, and I love creating something that works amazingly for me. I'll say this in the plan with me video, and I'll say it again. These are spreads that work for me, that I've created because I needed them, and others I didn't fill them in. Like a lot of people do that 23 in 23 or most anticipated books. I don't, because I don't need these pages. I don't care about them, at least not at the moment. So that's it. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumb up. Remember to subscribe for more videos and for monthly flip through of my reading journal with the monthly pages as well, so you can see these pages coming alive month by month. Thank you so much for your support. See you next time. Bye!